A very quick intro today, because to say I am looking forward to this challenge run is a massive understatement. Today we are doing the challenge run I have been looking forward to the most out of every potential challenge run. Today we are going to be doing missile only, which means of course the rule set is very simple. Missiles are the only weapon type we are allowed to build for defense, offense, absolutely everything. It has to be missiles. Now missiles are incredibly customizable. They are probably one of the most versatile weapon types in the game, and that's the reason I absolutely adore them. That being said, for some reason there are loads of missile types I simply never use. Things like this. Using the Thumperhead, you can have kinetic missiles which simply do physical damage upon hitting the target. You can then use things like remote guidance, which uses the AI power to target them rather than the usual radar seekers or infrared seekers. This means you need a much more powerful AI on your craft, which again, I never use. There are cluster missiles, which basically means you can have little mines or bombs or smaller missiles within your missile. On top of all that, there is the munition decoration set, which I never use, and that will allow you to completely customize how your missiles look using the same mimic system as you can customize your vehicles. So my other rule is I want to use as many missile types as possible by the end, and every missile I end up using more than once has to have a unique decoration set, which means I'm gonna have to get good very quickly at making customized missiles, which I'm very bad at. So with all that, let's just get straight into the game, because I am looking forward to firing very big missiles at absolutely everything, especially the huge missiles. These are normally more expensive in my opinion than they are actually worthwhile, but I swear I will be using these as a main weapon by the end. Will they be good? Will they end up killing me? Who knows? As usual, a rainy day from the depths to start our adventure. So, what we need to do straight away is figure out our first weapon. So, throughout this playthrough, what I want to do is test out as many missile types as possible, especially ones I don't normally use. So I'm thinking cluster missiles, kinetic missiles, and the very first missile type, which is going to be a really weird one. Well, not particularly weird, just one I never ever touch. And that is going to be the humble, yet potentially very deadly, magnet mines. So, these are very simple. You attach a magnet to one of these missiles, essentially turning it into a bomb, and then you add loads of warheads, and you're pretty much done. So the benefit for this is that because it has no movement parts, no other utility other than a single magnet, you can have a lot more warheads than you would expect from quite a small missile. Or you can have a large one of these and still have even more warheads, because it's a very simple type of weapon. Now, there's two ways to use this. The first way would be to use ejectors and essentially make a kind of grenade launcher. So if we just do this, there we go, here's our mine launcher, and we fire it forwards, and honestly it goes at decent speed. That's probably the way we're going to start with. Then later on, we can turn our craft into a flying craft, and then just simply drop the bombs on the enemy. But this is a good start because it means we can also use it against flyers to a certain degree. So, I'll be back in a second, oopsie-daisy, once I've made this thing functional. Making a weird arrow at this point. Okay, so we're going to have a central section of lift. Our turning is going to be tied to our forward and backward thrusters. I'll probably swap those over to propellers later on. Then I need to figure out where the weapon's going to go, and then I can put all of this in the middle of the hull as well, so it's no longer exposed on the top. If I can just do all of that before the first attack, we'll be in a great position. If we don't, well, hopefully I can at least become airborne, so I can simply run away. Lovely. Okay, basic controls are done. There's an enemy approaching us, so we don't actually have a weapon yet. However, I'm about to go in the sandbox mode. Not to work on this, but we are going to finally use the munition decorator. This means we can make our missiles look unique and weird, because I'm making very weird. The very first mines I'm going to use will not be explosive or fragment. They're going to be EMP. The idea of dropping these EMP surge mines everywhere is just way too fun, especially in the early game, and I do want to use the mines for at least the early game throughout this entire playthrough, so I'll be back once I've figured out how this thing actually works. Then we'll rush back into this mode and we'll try and figure out a basic weapon system to fight off the first enemy, although I think it's just the Sea Viper, and for some reason it doesn't seem to care about us, so that's good. Other than that, things are now functioning, which is nice. All we need to do is complete armor up the bottom, add the weapon, and then move all of our vitals inside the craft. It's a weird boat. I now realise I'm not particularly good at this, so this is definitely going to be a skill I'll have to very quickly learn. Well, the weird EMP barrel is going to be our mine for now. I'll practice more off camera before we do any more missiles, because I need to get better at doing this. This took me way longer than it should have. I am just not good with the mimics and decoration stuff at the moment, and it's definitely something I need practice with. Still, it's interesting, it's weird, and that's all I strive to be in life. Back in the adventure mode, and okay, it loaded in, though the colours do seem off. Oh, because I use a different colour scheme in that. Okay, I'll figure out which ones were blue in a second. Okay, let's see if these work. I'm going to fire a little bit higher up than the recommended, and then I'm going to run away. Hopefully those land somewhere near the enemy. Yep, there we go. Our mine's activated, causing EMP surges. Hopefully one of them will take out the AI. Yep, and we get our first kill. They can actually do up to 3,000 EMP damage each. It's just that the enemies are mostly made of wood. Now, the next enemy is a flyer, so I don't really know how I'm going to get this to work, honestly. I could just run away. This thing is very slow. At the same time, I do want to see if we can get this to work. Might need to readjust this so we have more than just 2 ejectors on these and 3 on the top. If we can have 4 ejectors on each, at least then we can fire it at a decent range. Oh, another target. Okay, let's go for that one first. I've just realised, actually, they look like paint cans. Deadly, deadly paint cans. They can go a decent distance. Now, you can actually have guided bombs, well, smart bombs as well, which can kind of just fly towards the target without the use of any thrust. Lovely. Okay, 2 enemies dead. Fantastic. Wow, that is weird. They are set to max strength and max range, so hopefully they'll be able to hit. Or they're just going to do a weird dance around the target for a while. Come on, I believe in you. There we go. Those are so fun. Okay, so that's the grenade launcher type. Obviously, we'll have to actually make a proper turret if we want to use these more. But I'm thinking bombs, because they're so much easier to place. We don't need all the ejectors and everything else. So what I need to do is armor up the bottom of this craft properly, and then we're going to set up a proper payload. I can't believe I actually just hit that plane. Now, ignore the fact that my craft is currently nosediving. It took out the one pitch control I had, because everything vulnerable is still on the deck. Still, worth it for that shot. And as soon as we've done some repairs, we'll be back in the air again. Oh no, there's another enemy already, isn't there? Stop attacking me, I need to build. Okay, so we now have access to bombs, quite a few of them, 18 of them in fact. We have access to some interceptors, which I need to test out and also make some decorations for. And I've changed the back section of this craft a little bit. It'll look a lot better once more stuff's built on top, and of course it'll get bigger as we continue to build anyway. So this will be the last fight, then I'll go to difficulty 5. So it should work okay. Okay, minimum range needs to be set a little bit better, because that is way out of range, I think. Or I am completely incorrect. Fantastic. So those are super agile missiles. They're only small missiles and they use fragments. They're not really going to be able to take out anything of any size, but they're always going to hit the target. So they're against light enemy, especially since most of our firepower is now in these. So I've set them up so they get fired down with an ejector, so hopefully they go underwater quite a bit. The idea is, lovely, they'll go underneath the target, and then the magnet will activate, and then they'll hit the underside, normally where it's a lot more vulnerable. I love my angry paint cans. Okay, so I just need to go into sandbox mode to quickly make a decoration for these small missiles, since I will be using interceptors for pretty much the rest of the game. Okay, I think that's good enough. I wanted them to look a bit like darts more than actually traditional missiles, and I think I've got that. I may change the fins colour to blue to make them look a bit more colourful and, well, like darts. Yeah, I really like those. Fantastic. Okay, first one I'm actually really happy with. To be fair, I have warmed to the very silly bombs, so... Paint cans and darts. The deadliest of weapons. Okay, first enemy of difficulty 5, and that's a lot of cram cannons. Probably can't fire directly above it, but now with this close, the next shot will likely hit us. Just trying to move a bit randomly. Okay, good. Now with how long it takes for it to reload, hopefully I can get above it and then fire the missiles. Well, drop the bombs, I should say. Please don't be able to fire. Okay, it's moving that way. Let's try and lead it a little bit and dropping the bombs now. Wonderful, look at that, just carpeting the bottom of the craft. Okay, the mainframe wasn't destroyed, but look at all of these connectors gone. I can't imagine its weapons survive that. We might even be able to capture this thing. Which is going to be quite rare in this run, so if I can capture it, I'll take it and then go straight to difficulty 10. So you want to go directly above the target again. Just a little bit shy since I don't want them to go into the water. Nope, dropped them a little bit too early there, and we just carpeted one area, which isn't as good. Wonder if the mainframe's been protected by rubber or stone or something. I imagine, yep, there it is. It's in the middle of all this. Will I be able to burn into that? Not too sure. Definitely got a victory though, regardless. Even if we have to use the smaller missiles to finish it off, that will still give us the victory. So I can't even move anymore. That is so satisfying. Yeah, that's pretty much this fight done with. Guess I'll just swap them over to high explosive. Maybe for... No, let's try one more time. If this doesn't work, then I'll swap over to explosives. Yeah, not gonna work. Okay. Remember as well, high explosive does bonus damage if it's underwater, and all these are gonna be underwater. Oh, now it's AI dead. No! I didn't expect that to do that. 4, 3, 2, 1, and it worked. Cute little flag. Okay, the interceptors work. We're going to be able to essentially double the cost of this thing. Well, I was only about 40k to begin with, and the Bastion was 30k, and we managed to steal all of its resource. I'll go to the next difficulty and start upgrading. Difficulty. Can't speak. Explosives. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is double down on the mines, because this is the one chance I can really get to use these. I'm going to add an equal amount to the back of the craft. After that, we're then going to go into a type of missile once again I don't really normally use. I used it briefly in the last video I recorded, which is the kinetic missiles. Essentially no warheads, just loads of reinforced bodies, and then using the thumperhead to do more impact damage. But then, we're going to use... Where are you? Remote guidance. Remote guidance uses the mainframe to control the missile, so rather than using a radar seeker, the actual mainframe decides which block for the missiles to fire at, and they'll all hit the same block. But this means we need a proper detection system, which normally you don't need with missiles, and also you need a serious amount of processing power, which means our AI is going to be massive, especially for a missile craft. But again, I never use those, so I want to see what they're like. Woo, the weather's gone dark, and there's an enemy. Fantastic. Let's fight that as I continue to add more stuff. Broadsider. Okay, let's try and get directly in front of it then if we can. Once again, we'd much rather have the missiles hit the underside of this. You know what? Fire a bit early. That's fine. Or just directly hit the top of it. That's fine as well. Oh my god, look at how many blocks that just annihilated. Wow, that just surged through it. Again, this is the benefit of the mines. Because there are so little utility blocks, the actual payload per mine is insanely good for its size, because they're tiny. That was one of the most satisfying EMP hits I have ever done in this game. I love this game sometimes. Okay, back to work, more mines. And then difficulty 15, and then after that we start adding cruise missiles, kinetic missiles, and eventually cluster missiles, which is definitely the thing I'm looking forward to the most, if that wasn't obvious. Wait, the cluster missile could fire mines, it can drop mines. Well, now I'm even happier. Sometimes an enemy just arrives to get destroyed. I'm currently working on a new missile system before we go through the red portal. This thing spawned in and wants to try and melee us. Didn't really work considering we fly. God, the amount of EMP damage those do is just ludicrous. Now, eventually there'll be surge protectors and rubber and stone and all those nasty things which stop EMP from working. But for now, it's fun to break some brains while I work. A Bastion is going to be a willing test subject for our new delivery system. So the main problem with the mines is that it's very inconvenient for the enemy. They have to actually come and collect the mines themselves. So now we're taking a leaf out of Amazon Prime's book and we are delivering direct to our customers. This is the Amazon Prime of warfare. So we are now delivering the mines directly to the enemy using cluster missiles. Beautiful. And there's all the weapons turned off. The enemy is once again in a stupor at our fantastic customer service. Like all big corporations, we certainly would prefer our customer base to be brainless. In this case without the AI, but sadly once again the Bastion's AI is surprisingly well protected. So, explosives, explosives. I'm going to be so sad when I'm no longer using the mines properly. Okay, collect all the resources from the last few fights, go through the portal to difficulty 15, but first, I want to change up our cluster missiles. So this is what they are right now. They need to be bigger, honestly. They need to have more health and a load of other things. But I also need them to have their own unique style. At the moment, they're just sharing the model with the interceptors, and I'm not going to allow that. I don't mind sharing some of the models, but the cluster missile is likely going to be something we use until the very end of the game, so it really deserves its own thing. What it's actually going to look like, I haven't got the faintest idea, but we'll find out soon enough. Back to the R&D department, aka the designer mode. Or sandbox mode. That other thing. Okay, this is gonna look really daft, but that's kind of on purpose. Yep, that is exactly how I wanted it to look. Absolute nonsense of a missile. I actually really like that. The idea in my head is that front section has all of the mines or whatever other cluster stuff will add eventually, and the rest is just cobbled together. Need a few more details on the back, I think, but I mean, yeah. Really happy with that. Okay, difficulty 15. Apparently I fired the cluster missile way too early there. That was like 2,000 meters away when I first fired. Ow. That thing has missiles as well, which as we know is unfair. Oh no, never mind. The first mines did land, at least some of them did. Here's hoping that more of the second lot will. There we go. A few kinetic hits. And lots of EMP. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Is the enemy disabled? I think it is. Lovely. Now, can we turn this thing off, is the question. Didn't think I'd be going for so many captures on a missile run, but here we are. Difficulty 15, this is the first enemy, and we pretty much immediately took it out using one of the clusters. Now the question is, can we break its brain? And can I get a capture? Oh, yes we can. Okay, almost missed that then. Come on, land on it. Oh, no, I may have missed it. No, yes, I did. I did, in fact, get it. Perfect. 50,000 more resources. Okay, so I'm going to go straight difficulty 20. And I'm going to go to the sandbox mode to upgrade our craft. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting around and our craft's going to be way too expensive. Okay, so I've got an idea for this at the moment. So we're going to add some fins to the back, maybe 4 of them, and those will control our pitch and roll and everything else. Some backup stuff on these tiny sections on the sides, and then other than that, we're kind of turning this thing into a submarine, at least style-wise, because that's kind of what I think the end of this craft should be. That way we can use torpedoes, which again is another missile type, and we can launch things from under the water, which I think will just look absolutely fantastic. Airship for a little bit longer, though. I'm also going to be removing the original mines, and we're going to be focusing more on the cluster missiles in order to actually get them to the target, and then I'm going to be redoing our little interceptor missiles, using the same style, but making them a little bit more effective. Okay, so lots of turning on the back, loads of space for armor, we have our forward thrusters, which also will be helping with turning at the back as well. I'll balance it a little bit more in a while. Loads of space for missiles, loads of space for ammo. It's significantly bigger inside than the old version, and I quite like how it looks, honestly. Nice. Okay, so let's sort out the weapon system. So we want essentially double what we had before with the cluster missiles, so we'll have 4 large missiles rather than 2, and then double up the mines. Then I'll do some testing with them to make sure they're actually releasing properly, because I've had a few problems when we've been doing the other fights. Then, back to the game. Now with custom smoke color, going with the rusty orange, which is kind of the style of these missiles for some reason. Yeah, releasing the mines as a stagger this time, that was perfect. Wonderful. Oh, surge protectors. Well, burnt through them anyway and still got through to vitals. That is much better than the old versions. They're actually slightly bigger as well. They're only 1 gantry bigger, admittedly, but that's enough to add some reinforced bodies, so these missiles are going to be even harder to take down than they were before. Hence why that thing's laser did absolutely nothing to them. And it's a grand total of 36 mines being released. Now we can always swap them to explosive or anything else later on if the EMP stops being effective. Fantastic. Okay, very happy with that. Now we need a secondary weapon, because these are going to be unreliable at best. Okay, well that looked really cool. So missiles are on their way. They should now be releasing the mines in a staggered formation rather than all at once. They were also significantly bigger than the old versions. Well, there goes his main gun straight away. And there we go. A complete kill. Then later on, when EMP becomes less effective, we can always swap it over to high explosive or fragment or something else. Though, I doubt cluster missiles are going to be something I use massively near the end. I do want to keep using them to at least some degree, because they're just fun. So that's the main weapon for the time being. We can afford a very small side weapon, so either normal cruise missiles or loads of small missiles for self-defense against small flyers, etc. Not too sure which right now. Quite like how this thing's turned out, honestly. Oh good, a willing test subject. Okay, so we're back in the adventure mode. I've just added some missiles to the front. These are all small missiles, and they're designed more to be agile than anything else. Let's see if they even work. Okay, I mean, that's very cool. If nothing else, that was an incredibly satisfying launch. Just so many needles heading towards the target. Wow. 172,000 damage? What? Well, if that was a smaller target, that would have been just shredded and utterly destroyed, but as it stands, it completely disabled its only weapon. Sorry, Marauder. Kinda want to do it again, to be completely honest. That was so insanely satisfying. What if we make small missiles a more regular weapon type? I never do that, because every time I try, I end up not being too happy with the results, but that could be so stupidly satisfying. Just thousands of needles into the enemy's face. You know, normal things to be thinking about. Oh yeah, I didn't upgrade the engine. I thought I've upgraded all the movement, haven't upgraded the engine. For now, just RTGs, very soon fuel engine. Or steam. Every time I try to go through a red portal, there's always random guardians. In fact, I think it's got a lag spike. There might be another one that just spawned in. So this is the iron from the Onyx Watch. It's actually more expensive than this, which is always nice to see, because it means I haven't gone too bad when it comes to just collecting too much resources. Oh yeah, I was messing around with some EMP settings for the small missiles. Kind of forgot about that until just this moment. Did that even do anything? I think the weapons may have started aiming upwards, so I'm assuming some connection's been severed. Oh, yep, there we go. There is a wireless receiver. These are all connection blocks. Another wireless receiver. Okay, I think between the large missiles and the swarm there, we may have just disabled this target, at least its main weapons. Seems like at least one of the smaller weapons is still online. Okay, well, let's go to the next target then. They are fighting each other, which is nice. Can I let loose another attack? Yes, I can. Send in some more needles to cause some problems. Okay, some surge protectors taken out there. Ooh, don't want to be hit by whatever's in those missiles. Huh, that's neat. So this is... Oh, River Home! I know you. I have no idea how vulnerable it is to EMP though. That's a lot of wooden armor, so a lot of natural protection against it. Trying to dodge both the missiles and the cram is a little bit difficult here, especially since I don't have a reverse button at the moment. Yeah, that EMP is doing absolutely nothing. That being said, actually, I think the main weapon may have turned off, so maybe it has done something, just not the kind of things I wanted. Yep, that's some local weapon controls and stuff. Okay, well, let's swap back to fragments for now. Okay, so we know that the EMP cluster missiles have been loads of fun, the mines have been fun, but I think I want to now add a weapon which is just more gloriously destructive. So I'm now changing the large missiles into pure high explosive, and they're going to be actually just missiles in their own right now, no longer carrying passengers. I will re-add cluster missiles later, but I would like them to be much bigger. Yeah, so this guy here simply hasn't seen me. And I've managed to sneak up on it, and these are all the large missiles, now with high explosives. Oh my god. Well. Can't deny how much I love that. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here. So really quickly, after that last fight, it turns out the reason why the enemy couldn't see us is because all of my settings were set to the default at some point, which included the automatic detection. The automatic detection simply allows the enemy to at least have a vague sense of where we are. By default, that's turned off. I normally have it on, although it's only a benefit to the enemy, just because I don't like fights like that where the enemy simply spawns in the wrong direction and simply can't see us. So in the future, if they spawn in the wrong direction, they have a vague sense of where we are, and they'll start turning towards us and then fighting like normal. So I'm thinking, for how I want this thing to grow, I want it to be very similar to, I think it's a Grey Talons craft, where it essentially has double what we have now, one flipped, and then loads of infrastructure in between them. because I love that idea, because I love how these fins have turned out, and I would love to just flip them underneath, and then that be the craft. So a lot more vertical height than I normally end up building. I normally end up building way too flat. So I've made the missiles way longer range, essentially triple the range they were before, at the cost of some of their warheads. They also now have one reinforced body each, which means, again, less explosive damage, more physical, but also more health. Still seem to be able to do a lot of damage though, so that's fine. Yep, much nastier than they were before. Okay, let's go through that red portal. Difficulty 35, and I promise I will be using different types of missiles soon. This is the Wyvern. And it's gone. Sometimes the fight's over very quickly with these missiles. In fact, so much so, I'm going to be looking for a blue portal soon. We've saved up like 80,000 resources, which is way too much. So what I really want to do is go through a blue portal, get some building time, and go 20 difficulties ahead. So that's what I'm going to be looking for now. And then, probably kinetic missiles with remote guidance. First time ever building that combo. So fight amongst yourselves in the comments. Is it Wyvern or Wyvern? Or some third pronunciation I'm unaware of? So I've basically copied an empty shell version of the top onto the bottom now. So I want to see how I'm going to actually make this, because obviously I need points which are going to be very hard to shoot off, otherwise I'll literally drop half my craft. We have the fans going all the way down. As you can see, no missiles or anything inside. It's literally just a hollow shell, which costs very little, it turns out, because single layer of armor isn't very expensive. All the internal armor and everything as well has been stripped off. Do need to work on some of the sections though, since I have changed up a few bits and bobs. Yeah, I think I'd rather have this bit higher up on both sides. I think that'd be interesting. So what I could have as well is a hard connection point here. Then that could also store the missiles at the moment the missiles are poking out, so we can have them go further down. It'll be easier to armor up, so all the rest is exposed. I think it looks cool. I'll try and make it look like all this is accessible, but then I have a few hard points which will hide missiles and a few other systems. Yeah, I think this could look really good when it's finished. The Aurora. Oh yeah, we need anti-missiles as well. Ow! Apparently I really didn't like your fins. You didn't like my face. Oh, those were EMP. Well, I'm going to space now, if that's okay. This is getting really weird. There we go. Okay, we have a victory. Yeah, those were serious EMP missiles. They got past our surge protectors like nothing. What's actually happened to my craft? Do I have functionality? I do, so I think the PIDs were knocked out. Or the AI itself. No, the AI is still going. Yeah, just the PIDs then. In which case, I'll just manually fly this thing, very weirdly, until it heals up. Now, before we go into 35 properly this time, I want to do a quick test with some interceptors. Perfect. That's all I wanted to say. So I've just changed the front missiles into much smaller small missiles. Yeah, much smaller small missiles. And these are just interceptors, so that's it really. I want those all over the craft because, well, missiles are scary, as we've seen. This is just the design from our drone run. It can't actually see things by itself, which is interesting. Perfect. Good. That's all I wanted to see. Okay, first enemy of difficulty 35. We are just trying to find portals at this point. A blue portal would be best, but a red portal will be allowed. Okay, enemy missiles incoming. And they have a lot of health. Oh no, they're harpoons. Turn. There we go. Try to force our craft down as much as I can. Oh dear. Okay, lovely. Please hit more. Die. Hate you so much. If my missiles are online now, though, we're going to hit its main body. Yep, there we are. That was our missiles. You kind of hugged our missile silo there without destroying it. And AI dead. Yeah, our interceptors didn't have a chance. Those missiles were probably almost pure kinetic, just for loads and loads of health. That is such a shame, though. Oh, that's my RTG section almost destroyed. Wow, our armor actually held up surprisingly well, and then these missiles just went straight into its head. That was a satisfying fight. Oh, red portal. Fantastic. Okay, great. Straight to difficulty 40. As soon as I repair up enough I'm not lopsided anymore. And we definitely have enough resources as well to start working on the next weapon system, so maybe I'll do that in the sandbox mode and then go to 40, so we're not just sitting around getting resources. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So these are the purely kinetic missiles, so lots of reinforced bodies and a thumper head being controlled directly by the AI, so they all should hit the same spot. Okay, lovely. 83,000 damage. They'll be almost impossible to take out by munition defense systems because they have so much health and move very quickly, and they just shred a section at a time. They're also fairly cheap in comparison to our other weapons. Like, they're actually cheaper than our interceptor setup at the moment, which is nice. Still wasn't too happy with the aim. Oh, I haven't set up our detection system properly. No wonder the aim wasn't great. Yeah, our craft can't see that well at the moment, so firing these things isn't going to be pinpoint accurate at the moment. Still, though, that is fantastic. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We can actually set up a couple of these. It's just the first one, so I'm going to make a custom skin for them and then set up our detection systems properly. Yeah, I'm gonna make all the detection systems I had simply go invisible using the power of magic, also known as the power of mimics. So with that, all we need to do is hide original mesh, make this absolutely tiny, and then move it into the ground. Ta-da! And it's gone. And that's what I'm gonna do for everything I add, and then I'll do the same with the actual AI connectors, because again, I just do not like how this looks at all. Kinda have to resist just using a mannequin hand here, and then just firing mannequin hands as our physical weapon. Gonna resist, because it won't make me better at making these. Somehow I managed to lose the recording of actually making these missiles, so here we go. These are what our kinetic missiles are going to look like. Basically very scary needles. Welcome to difficulty 40, our missiles are not yet ready, all I've been able to fire are the larger missiles, and that thing keeps dodging them. Well, at least one hit. Hey, kinetic missiles underway. Please do better than the large missiles did. I believe in you. Thank you. Good. All hit. 65,000 damage. If one of you can just take out that turret cap, that would be fantastic. Lovely. Okay, we have an enemy. The Victoria. Oh, that thing has a lot of munition defense. I remember what the Victoria is. And yeah, it uses some advanced cannons for defense. Not a problem for the kinetic ones, but really wished I'd timed that with the high explosive, because although the high explosive are larger, they have less health. So it would have been nice if the kinetic went first, absorbing the hits, rather than letting the high explosive take a few hits that might stop one of them. Yep, stopped one, not all. Lovely. Okay, try and stick in front of the craft. Our anti-munition missiles did work pretty well there, although a bit late to fire, so I need to double check the positioning of our munition detectors. Ooh, that flyer went straight down. That's it, focus on the kinetic missiles, not the really scary ones. Beautiful. Just his back gun online still? Yeah, that's not really doing that much, is it? It's those front regular guns I was more scared of than the low arms ones. The low gauge ones, rather. Don't know what happened to the flyer. Was it an errant missile, or was it the guns from the Victoria? Either way, super happy to see the teamwork. Kinetic can distract the enemy munition defense, then the high explosive can go in and finish off the target. Don't know why my lock suddenly vanished there, but oh, I guess the block I was attached to got destroyed. Perfect. Every time I'm going for a red portal. Ooh, what is that? Actually, with the lag, then it might be two things. Is it going underwater? I am confused. I mean, I could just go for the portal. Okay, let's see what we're actually fighting. There's two things. Three things? So we have Bouncy McBounce here, who is the Morning Star. Oh, that thing explodes if you hit it right. I mean, most things do in this game, but some of them really explode. Then we have you and you. You the Paladin? No, you're the Victoria. I might just go through the red portal, honestly. Yeah, it's a 45. I'm not going to be caught up in all of this. Sometimes the wisest solution is just not to play the game. I'm gonna miss that red portal. I always forget, because the craft isn't fully balanced at the moment, when I turn off the central fan, it really makes it imbalanced and we move backwards slightly as well. I always forget that. Anyway, there we go, difficulty 45. The enemy defending the red portals today is the Typhoon. And we have just added a very, very basic torpedo system, which is really good timing. So far, our anti-missiles have been able to completely keep us safe. Okay, yep, they'll just keep on auto-firing those. Hopefully they'll actually make it to the target. We have fired already. Aha, there they are. I was about to say I haven't seen any of them hit. And then, boom. Why did you all go for that? There was clearly nothing vital there. You couldn't have gone for the rest of the body or these missiles, or it still fins. No, the sticky out bit, innit? Let's go for that. Yeah, these are really basic torpedoes. I did also add them horizontally on our craft, which means they're very vulnerable to being knocked off, but I just think they look really cool. Our anti-missiles, on the other hand, are doing spectacularly. They have stopped every single enemy missile so far. Not a single one has got through. As long as we keep on backing up as well, we should have plenty of time to shoot them down, and now our torpedoes are still able to hit them. I am noticing the damage hasn't been great. I mean, we took off the fin, then the second shot just did all these little score marks. They're set to be purely high explosive, because high explosive does bonus damage when underwater. And submarines are very much underwater. Okay, good. The vitals are finally being exposed, so next time we should be able to finish that thing off. We need more, though. Right now, I don't think we could stand toe-to-toe with any of the larger subs at all. Though I guess we are only in difficulty 45. Oh, their missiles finally got through to us. Oh, because we tilted a bit at one point. Okay. Still, it was a very one-sided fight, so well done to us, but yeah, it could have been more exciting. Every time I get close enough to a red portal, there's always an enemy. Anyway, difficulty 50. The Hunter. Oh, this is one of the melee craft, isn't it? The one with the really cool sword. I mean, just look at that thing. That is ridiculous. Doesn't seem to have... Oh, that's just sad. The sword went above everything else. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any anti-munition, so... That's not going to be a good fight for it. We're probably about the same speed, I imagine. So if I can just keep turning like this, it'll just keep on twisting forever. You know, I've seen the Hunter so many times, and it's never managed to reach me, and that's just sad, because it's such a cool design. And I bet it would just tear apart enemies. You know what, I already have enough resource, let's go to difficulty 55. Okay, since we're now heading towards difficulty 55, I'm going to be redesigning the craft a little bit in the sandbox mode for the next hour or so, because I've reached that point where I'm just not really happy with how the thing looks, and I'm just adding little things and just not really fixing the problems I see in the design. So, I'll be back once I've made some actual progress. It's bizarre how long it can take sometimes for you to realise you don't like the design of something, especially when you're adding to it slowly, but honestly, after trying to improve the old design, I realised I just didn't like the design. The grey talons do it perfectly, I did it weirdly, so I'm starting again. I'm going with more sharp angles. I want an actual superstructure on the top, and I think this could give a load of texture to the sides and make it look more distinct. It was just too weirdly blurry when you looked at it from a distance, which I was just not a fan of. So, starting again, this is going to take a while. I'll be back soon. Okay, this is like 3 hours later. I have scrapped like 10 designs. My sanity is just about holding on by a thread, and it looks like it has a snoot. But the thing is, I know for a fact this will look good later, because right now I'm limited by size. I built this longer and a little bit wider in the center, and it looked fantastic, but then realized I would completely run out of resources if I still wanted to do the 2-tiered system, which I do because it's weird and I want to get better at building. So this is what we're going with right now. It has a snoot, it's a little bit stumpy, but it's our precious boy and we're all going to love him, okay? So we're going to continue from here. I've just added the missiles back to the back section. They're a little bit bigger than they were before, but not by much. We're going to add the bottom tier in a second, and it's pretty much hollow at the moment, so I can do anything I want. It is actually considerably bigger than the old version, at least in terms of size on the inside, so we have loads and loads of space to play with armoring and everything else. Okay, we continue before the voices start. So I know for a fact I'm drawing inspiration from the Grey Talons here, because there's a Grey Talons airship which has a somewhat similar structure on top like this. I don't quite know how they do the back fins. Do they have the full 3 fins on both sides, or just the single dorsal? I'm not too sure. But yeah, definitely going with that vibe here. So if anyone could tell me what one I'm thinking of, that would be great. Now, I'm purposely not spawning it in right now though, because honestly, I don't want to copy it one for one, because if I end up spawning in designs, I'm terrible for this. I end up not drawing inspiration, I end up copying, which is not what I ever want to do. So I think that's a good size. Again, eventually, the front and back will be stretched out a bit, and I think I want more flat stuff on top to place buildings and everything else. Maybe for now, the bottom ship will be smaller than the top section, so maybe its nose will end about here. I think that could look okay, and then we can stretch them both out later once we have the resources to do so. Again, we are only in difficulty, was it 55 or 60? It's been hours, I can't remember. Okay, so I've gone a little bit overboard. I've doubled the amount of interceptors, I've added the large missiles, and honestly, our cost is already very, very close to the original. We are just far bigger. So for now, I don't think I'll be able to add the bottom section. So it's going to be just the top section for the time being. We have the chains here ready to hold it, along with space for everything else. So I think now it's time to just armor everything up, segment the insides, which will take a few hours of just throwing things down, and then add all of the functional components so it can move. Any spare resource will then go back into kinetic missiles, because those have been fantastic so far. Eventually, I would like to re-add the cluster missiles, because those are just fun. But we're going to do that in a more explosive style this time. So rather than mines, I'm thinking it drops loads of explosives. Perhaps even we use the huge launcher rather than the large launcher. The huge launcher will be our final weapon in difficulty 100, since those things are just overkill, very expensive, and in my experience, not as good as the others. That is so punishing if you fail with them, if you miss or something else. Definitely prefer the new version though. I think maybe it's just a bit too pointy at the front. Maybe that's what I'm not liking as much as the old one. But everything else I definitely prefer. It looks more purposeful. Took way too long for what it is, but there we are now done. So it has the same weapons as the old version, just more of them. It has more interceptors and everything else. It just doesn't have the torpedoes, so if we see an enemy, we simply have to run away if they're underwater. That's it. But we can go up to 70 meters per second, which should be faster than pretty much every submarine I can think of, so that's fine. Other than that, it just has way more armor, way more space, and loads of space for us to actually expand. I definitely want to make the front a bit longer with this like flat section, and then maybe make the front a little bit less pointy. Still, honestly, really happy with this. So our airship returns to the adventure mode. That should be enough. The conversion is underway. well now. Oh my god, that's my face gone. Well, that's some serious particle cannons then. Must be impact. The Andromeda. Okay, well, that's our fight for today then. Don't know if I'm in range, I'll fire them anyway. If nothing else, I'll probably use up some of their anti-munition defense. Thankfully, that front section has nothing. That's why it melted so easily. There's no armor. Look, there's the actual craft. So it wasn't really too bad. They could have hit anywhere else and it would have been far worse. Yep, anti-munition missiles, makes sense. Not enough to stop the high explosive, though. Okay, I'm turning horribly, so where did that just hit? Oh, I've lost my right side now. Okay, once again, most of the vitals are fine. And we are now hitting them. Our own interceptor stopping their missiles. And once again, large missiles doing their job fantastically. Hopefully, if we've hit any of their particle cannon pipes, they will no longer be able to fire at us. As soon as one pipe's down, then they become defective. Turn some of our munition defense into non-staggered, which is interesting. Come on, surely I've taken it. Yes! That was a particle cannon misfire. They just damaged themselves. What did you do? Or did I not set up... Okay, I may have actually just not set up our munition defense correctly, because they're meant to be staggered, but they're clearly not. Beautiful. Okay, our armor actually held up really well, all things considered, with that particle cannon. Only a few of the missiles eventually got through, and the front, again, right now is just a big air gap. So, that was actually a surprisingly clean fight. To difficulty 60 we go. Very happy with that. And very happy with how our large missiles now deal with things. Although, clearly, I need to fix those interceptors. We haven't even healed yet. And this one has minions and lots of missiles. 530,000. I think I get shocked by that thing's cost every time. I've definitely seen it before. Please, interceptors, do your job. Fantastic. The interceptors are stopping pretty much every missile. Come on. Yes, lovely. Sorry, I was channeling some dark spirit then. Anyway, can we please just kill this thing before its friends catch up? Yeah, I don't know why it's separated so much from its drones, but apparently it just doesn't want to be friends with them anymore. They've had some kind of row last night, and it's really affecting their job performance. Whoa, what's going on with my intercept? Not my interceptors, my kinetic missiles there. Oh, that's a beautiful shot, though. Okay, well, the high explosives did their job. I have no idea what went wrong with the kinetic shells there. Wow, I am just not able to talk right now. My own job performance is struggling. I've been building in silence for like the last 6 hours, and now I've just lost all ability to be social. Oh, I love our high explosives. They're so brutal, and they're so much bigger than they used to be. I was really hoping they'd crash into each other then. Oh, is it the chaff error, maybe, that's causing the kinetic to be so unreliable for the first time ever? Our interceptors are pretty brutal. We've gone kind of overboard with the interceptors, and it really paid off. That enemy couldn't even fight back. That's a lot of resource we just got for one fight. Jeez. Okay, that was one of the best fights we've had. Very one-sided, though. Okay, apparently no grace period right now. That thing is hurting with those shells as well, so let's see what we're even fighting against, shall we? The Braveheart. Okay, so that is definitely Steel Strider. Okay, enemy missiles I think might be running out of fuel, which is good for us. So much smaller than the last target. Okay, well, They'll be very embarrassing to lose against now, because we are now getting more expensive than the enemies. Though we are in difficulty 60 at this point, so we are trying to increase difficulty as much as we can. We have enough resource to do the next major upgrade, which I think is finally adding a huge missile. That is the largest variant we can add. I really want to see how much damage we can pump out of one of those. Okay, enemy missiles incoming. Thank you, interceptors. Yeah, that was pretty devastating. Almost 500k explosive damage there, and 283,000 thump damage from the kinetic missiles. We're getting too close again. I keep doing that. I keep on forgetting how fast this craft can actually move. That was so beautiful. I love missiles. I love my job. How is it missing the guns? There we go, finally. Well done. Oh, I was actually away from the keyboard then for a second. Okay, we are under attack. So I was thinking though, while I was messing around with the huge missile, one of the big benefits from that, which I've seen in Grey Talons and Scarlet Dawn, is that they seem to attract... Oh my god, look at this thing. They seem to attract a lot of attention away from other missiles. Because they're so big and have so much health, the enemy munition defense tends to target it, and while doing that, the large missiles and medium missiles can actually get through and do damage. So, in the future, when we're playing around munition defense even more, we definitely want a couple of huge missiles which are pure health. And bang. Look at that. So I set it up with fragments, it's hit there and gone all the way through and broke a steam engine, despite all that heavy armor. If it hit here, it probably would have just taken out a gun. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to use more of those in the future. It's gonna have a long reload now, though. Oh, a very long reload, because it's broke. Okay, our kinetic hitting again. Lovely. Incoming our large. Okay, our interceptors again are doing fantastically. Most of the enemy's medium missiles are being taken out, and the large missiles are hitting. Seems like we've broken its turning quite a bit. Yeah, that gun is not looking great either. Look how much heavy armor the Hunchback has. That is just ridiculous. It's just a shell of heavy armor. Yeah, for first test, I'm pretty happy. Managed to remove a lot of the enemy munition defense, hit the target, and then just scrape off a whole corner from the enemy. We need more of them, though. I think just a single one probably isn't the best. I think they need to be used in conjunction with others. This thing's health is just mad. It does cost like almost 300,000 more than us as well, to be fair. Okay, the heavy missiles are still there, which is good. So after that last fight, I've decided I'm going to stick around 65 for a little bit longer near these red portals. The reason is that last fight the enemy was significantly more expensive than us. It did so much damage we actually lost resource, and I really don't want to lose this run now. We're actually a lot cheaper than most of my designs once we hit this point, so this is where we're going to stick. For the time being, I will be removing the huge missile. It was only there for a test after all, and it was so vulnerable it got knocked out, which is the main reason it cost so much during that run. What I'm going to do is spend all the resource I get on retrofitting the sides so that we can use multiple of the huge missiles, and also sorting a few other problems out with the craft. But yeah, eventually the huge missiles are going to go here, and this is going to be a proper armor plate, which will properly attach to the craft. I think that'll be the best way to use them, without making them too vulnerable. They also need a hatch. I don't know why I just tested it like this, thinking, oh, it's fine, one fight I won't lose all of my resources because of that. This next fight I was going to edit like I normally do, but I've decided to leave in its entirety. It was a very long fight, and shows why we're not increasing difficulty just yet. Welcome to the battle versus the Warlord. So that thing is using, a lot of particle cannons. Oh, it's the Warlord! Yeah, I'm definitely not increasing my difficulty at the moment, because that's ridiculous to see. I guess trying to get underneath it might be the best. It's definitely faster than we are. The question is, how does it back off? Okay, its missiles have been countered quite heavily by ours, at least. And some of our high explosive did land. Now, because it's using particle cannons, ow, we should be able to cause maybe a small breach and stop them, especially with all the kinetic missiles. At least, that's what I'm hoping. There we go, yeah, just keep it a weird angle. And maybe this will be the best bet for us. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it'll fire directly underneath itself. Now, our kinetic missiles are going to really struggle to hit the target at this angle as well, but I think our high explosives won't. In theory. Okay, the kinetic can not quite make it, but again, don't want to be hit by their particle cannons. Thank you very much. Oh, why'd they fly so high? You have to rethink this, I think. Can we get behind it? Looks like its reversing thrusters are just slightly slightly slower than we are moving forwards, but only by a tiny bit. They keep trying to shake us off like that. Okay, a few more kinetic hits. We are mostly taking out its missiles, so we are pretty much not getting hurt. That's a big point to make. So even if we only hit a few times, we aren't being hit a few times. Ooh, it completely changed its movement there. I might have taken out one of its backwards thrusters or something. Oh, we need to be able to turn faster. We used to be able to turn so much faster than this before the redesign, and I'm now realizing how much of a problem it is I can't do that. But saying that, it might be because of damage. I'm now seeing the sides. Come on, we can beat the Warlord. I believe in us. If we can beat this, I'll be incredibly happy. Are our kinetics still... Oh, no. Okay, so... a lot of stuff's offline now. Seems like its turning as well has been pretty much neutralized. Yeah, now we're taking more hits than they are. Or are we? That is turning something terrible right now. Ow, that was me in the face, not great. Is it actually going into the water? I think we may have just about knocked it into the water. It managed to turn around and do one more particle cannon shot just in time. That was a horrible fight. We need more weapons. We need to just forget about the huge missiles for now. More kinetic in more places. That's what we need. And longer range ones. I'm actually thinking kinetic large missiles. Okay, no use in firing anymore. The kinetic missiles couldn't even see the target anyway. It went somewhere random. I don't know how the large ones can see it. Next up is the Judgment. So thankfully, from the Warlord, we actually got loads of resource. So much so, I've added some extra missiles to the side. These are large missiles, but pure kinetic ones. They're not going to do as much damage as the large explosive missiles, but in theory, they should be able to keep away a lot of the enemy munition defense and everything else. Didn't really get to see them last time. I want to make sure if they're even firing okay. I have a horrible feeling like they're not. Knew it. Why did you fire on a weird delay? Oh, that was beautiful. Wait, that was explosive. Why was that explosive? See, I knew I made a mistake. I think I've messed up and one of them's not as big as the others. And because of that, there's some explosive mixed in, but also, they're not firing properly. Okay, that was very one-sided, thankfully. So, the Judgment is down. I need to fix whatever I've done wrong here. Yeah, knew it. Why are you like that? Oh, that's my resource storage. Come on now. Particle cannons are so rude. Can something big just hit this thing so we can be finished off? That'd be great. Need more ammo again is the problem. That is one of the big problems with missiles. It's just they're so ammo hungry. We still see the target, yeah. As long as it's at least a little bit above the water, we still fire at it with our guided missiles. Okay, good. That thing's flipped, so it's no longer a threat. Let's move forwards. Hold fire for now. We're not in range. Oh, good. It can fire, but it can only fire at the other enemy. Fantastic. Okay, I think I'll fix the missiles. I sigh as they go towards the wrong target. This thing! Braveheart, take it out! Feels weird being English fighting Braveheart, but still. Take away its freedom! Beautiful. Okay, that I think disabled almost everything. I can't talk right now. It's in way too much time recording today. I love this craft. Using it is an absolute pleasure. Okay, it's no longer a threat. That thing can still fire, but only at things like horizontal to it, so it's no problem for us being airborne. We already have so much ammo. I don't know where I'm going to put other ammo storages. Dink. Dink. And dink. That last fight was incredibly good, and because we have so much resource now, I'm back in the sandbox mode briefly. We're going to start adding the bottom section back, because honestly I need this space for everything, especially ammunition, and all I want in the bottom weapon-wise for now is just more of the large missiles, the kinetic ones, to make sure we have some guaranteed damage on the enemies. I also want to add the back fins again so we can turn a bit faster. So I'm going to essentially copy and paste this on the bottom, though I'm not sure if I'm going to be duplicating the main body though, honestly. I think this one should be a little bit smaller, maybe just ending here, rather than where the nose is on top. So I changed my mind. I have just duplicated the entire craft, and I'm now working on hollowing the bottom section, which is taking a lot of time, even using the prefab tool. Honestly, trying to remove everything which I don't need and keep the shape is annoying at best. Thankfully, the actual shell is very cheap, even if I've got to replace all the internal armor again. So with this, we can easily add the bottom set of missiles. It'll massively increase the size of our craft and get us ready for difficulty 70. We essentially need the finished hull. That's what we need. Because we're going into difficulty 70, I don't want to have to do this constantly now, so I'm building ahead, even if it means I'm building lots of empty space. Well, this is what's attacking us, the amusement. So we're back in the game now. I've just fired my missiles. It's been shooting with what I think are railguns. Let's see how our new missiles do. Now, one thing I am concerned about is I'm doubtful we have enough processing power for all of the new missiles. Though, maybe I was wrong. It seems like that was pretty on point. Where did the rest of the explosive missiles go? That is not all of them. Make sure I'm targeting the base, they're not the torso with the kinetic missiles. So these are all the new ones. These are all the large missiles. Actually, they do seem a little bit off, so maybe I'm just on the edge of having enough of them. So, the remote guidance missiles, what they use is this, the general purpose processing card. I'm not entirely sure how much each. When you fire them all, you can actually see how much is being used, and I haven't upgraded it since only having the medium missiles, so I think I might need a few more. I was going to do that, but then we were attacked, so I didn't quite get the chance. Can we please hit that base just a little bit more? One side of it's been, yeah, almost stripped clean, so this needs a few more hits. Yeah, like that. There we go. Low health, and the base goes, which means that's going underwater. Okay, hold your fire, you won't be able to hit. If you do fire, you'll just be wasting ammo. Oh, some of the high explosive ones can just about see it, apparently, still. The rest won't, though. Since this craft simply can't see underwater, it means all those kinetic ones would just hit wildly off. There we are. Well, I was going to go for the red portal, but okay, let's have another fight. Oh, wow, that thing is shredding our outer armor. I mean, to be fair, it was also hitting some wooden armor there, so it looks a bit more menacing than it really is, but is that another hunchback? Fine, then. Hello, hunchback. Is there a reason why you're out of control? Oh, never mind, you already fired. For some reason, I didn't think you'd fired. I was building at the time, to be fair. Okay, the explosives actually just hit, and AI dead already! Wow! Yeah, so after that last fight, I double-checked, and it turns out I was correct. We didn't have enough general-purpose cards for all of the remote-guided missiles. This is what happens when you do have enough cards. It did 756,000 kinetic damage. I'm not sure where the damage was done to take out the AI, but yeah, it's broke right through. I guess it just got lucky going through here, but yeah, how did that cause an AI death? Yeah, after looking around, I can't really figure out how we just caused an AI death, honestly. We've got a lot of gaps into the vulnerable section. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That was definitely kinetic for it to go through like that. That's just wild. It just happened to hit the right spot. It's either the explosive caved in the hole, then the kinetic went through, or the other way around. Either way, 756,000 kinetic damage from that volley of missiles. That is what happens when they actually hit the target. Brilliant. Okay, I'll collect that resource, then we're going through the red portal, and then I can finally make it so our bottom half isn't hollow. Yep, you're seeing what you think you can see there. There's a row of RTGs right next to the outer wall, because that's how it was built when I had less space. It needs some work, but I don't want to go back into the sandbox mode again. I also want to add a new weapon soon, and really want to add a new skin, because I've not added a new missile skin in ages, and it's getting a bit boring seeing the same missiles over and over and over again. Currently, we have only 3 different skins. We have one for the explosive missiles, one for both the large and medium kinetics, and then one for the interceptors, and that's it. Another enemy. Nope. You know what? Red portal right there. I'm going right for it. Thank you very much. Enough of difficulty 65. Although I am curious, what enemy is that high up? And would it be fun to hit? Ooh, aren't you a fancy thing? The Hydra. No, no, no. Let's just go to the next difficulty. We've been here way too long now. I wanted to stay around a little bit longer, but I ended up staying here way too long again. Though saying that, most enemies are still either my cost or less. I was still cheaper than the last enemy we killed. Remember all that resource we had? You may notice that now the resources are gone because I've added 2 huge missiles. Look at the size of these things. So they're both set to being fragments, and actually the damage they can do is ridiculous. They also have some reinforced bodies and signal processors and everything else. I'm going to armor them up with many, many layers on both sides. In fact, I'm probably going to add some fake wings, since I think that would look interesting, and then connect them up to these side plates, so we can add some more in the middle later, since we can add more front-facing kinetic weapons, since I think that's probably where we're going to end up. I will go to the sandbox mode soon, because what I want to do is, of course, give them a new skin, which is going to be unique for these things. I've got an idea in my head. I don't know if it'll actually look good, though. So I'll be back soon. Then we can test out 2 huge missiles at a time. Also, I do need to actually connect them, because right now they're being held purely by these chains, and these chains are decorative. They are decorative items, which means they have almost no health. Actually, 300 health. It's more than I expected. Still isn't enough. It's just less than a piece of metal. So we will also add some connection points between the centerpiece here and this itself. Well, it looks bizarre and I kind of love it. So what we're going to have on the front of this thing is just a big ol' ammo barrel with loads of spikes coming out of it. The idea is it's a big bucket of bolts we're just throwing at the target, because it will be using fragment, because fragment's hilarious with such a big missile. Yeah, quite like that for the base actually. I'm quite happy with that. Nice and simple, just like me. When I was a kid, I had a severe phobia of needles. It's actually problematic. Thankfully, that's almost completely gone now. However, this spike right here managed to awaken a long dormant phobia in me. This made me physically cringe more than I have done in years. There is something about how I accidentally zoomed in, just that was there, that just caught me off guard. Oh, even now, that really gets my skin crawling. Okay, I am reasonably happy with that. Now, we do have the issue still, of course. We haven't really armored them up. One layer of light armor, because this is all alloy still, is nowhere near enough to protect something so expensive. It's just, well, it's not even enough to protect something cheap. So I will be adding a lot more as we get some more resources. The problem is, I don't really want to add too much, because then it will lose that kind of aesthetic I've got currently of the two separate vehicles. It's going to be difficult. And we might just have to live with the fact it's a massive vulnerability, but that's kind of where we are at the moment. Either way though, it's all hooked up to the AI, so next time we have a fight, it should auto-fire and hopefully it's gonna do alright. They're currently fragments and reinforced bodies, so half of it is just because I don't really want the enemy to be able to shoot them down, and they can act as a distraction for the large missiles and everything else, but also the fragments do actually a ridiculous amount of damage per fragment in such a big missile. A good shot would be deadly. Oh wow, that thing's expensive. The Retaliator, not nice. Sure, let's go. Don't know if I'm in range of any of these things, but fire everything. Oh, I forgot to add the skin to the other huge missile. Great, I got skimmed on my head and now I can hardly see what's going on. Always nice during a first fight with some new weapons not to be able to see what's going on. Okay, so pause for a second. I'm seeing some kind of munition defense, I think just flak. Looks like they're mostly going after the kinetics, if you can see what's actually happening. Okay, yep, kinetics hit for a lot there. These are the high explosives, which means you must be one of the huge missiles. Okay, that's really what I want to see more than anything. Please survive. That's it. Keep on going after the high explosives. That'd be great. Please actually hit something. What are you doing? Why are you targeting so high? What? You targeted there! Oh, that may have been a decoy. On the upside, despite the fact they hit that high, the fragments still did 41,000 damage. It shows how much damage the fragments can do if they actually hit the target. Keep on firing. Okay, ammunition defense is doing really well. That looks like the first missile to actually get through. Done 117,000 just in munition defense damage there, which is pretty impressive. Okay, now will you hit spots, which is not just a random corner? Thank you. Beautiful, okay. Let's keep going. Looks like we've done quite a lot of damage. The weapons don't seem to be firing on the enemy, so we could have destroyed like an ammo core or something early on. An ammo core. An ammo section or a bit of mainframe, I don't really know. Something in the core. Stop aiming so high! Jeez! Still, the fragments just did that. That has opened up everything. Look at that from the fragments. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it looks like we've won. I think the enemy's broken. Not the most spectacular sight in terms of visuals, considering half of them I couldn't see, but still. Yeah, that's just a that's just flak damage. It's not even breaking off any of our blocks. Lovely. Huge missile still going? Yeah, huge missile still alive. Fantastic. Can you now please hit the right section? That would be so good. Come on, finish it off proper. If they do weird things again, I may set them to remote guidance like the kinetic missiles, so they target a block which the AI wants to target, not just a random block that the detector sees. Look at that, that's fantastic. Absolutely carving through sections. That's the whole point of it. The fragments do something ridiculous, like 50,000 damage before the armor affects them. And it shoots out like 20 or 30 of them, so the idea is at least one of them might get through into something vital. But yeah, I need to change that to remote guidance. That was really bad. Still, first fight in difficulty 70. Crushed. No, my wing. Too low. Oh, a nuke spawned in. Apparently a nuke was an enemy here. It's by itself. Well, that was odd. Thanks for the 700 material. And to 75 we go. I've changed up our huge missile. Oh, it was under attack. Anyway, I've changed up the huge missiles. They're now using shaped heads rather than the fragments, so they're using heat, which is of course high explosive anti-tank, which means it hits the target, and then explosive damage forces copper through the enemy, essentially causing damage to the internals. The bull shark, okay. It's going to hit us long before we can hit it, but let's see if we can duck a little bit. Can we get out of that? Yes, we can. Just be weird with our movements if possible. Well, here's hoping these things actually land, as I really want to see what they do. That's a lot of munition defense, but our kinetic still got through. Lovely, tearing a hole open in the side there. Oh, its main guns will act as anti-munition. So, downside, it's going to tear apart our huge missiles. Upside, that's going to allow the explosives to get through. Hopefully. Some of them did at least. Oh, neither of the huge got through. That is surprising. They have over 200,000 health. Okay, some more kinetics just landed. Our anti-munition system is active, which is good. Okay. So far, we haven't really taken that much damage. It's been focused completely on trying to protect itself, which, although it did well, it couldn't hold out forever against the onslaught. Okay, first of the huge just hit. So it should have fragments all throughout. The second one, I think, just missed. So difficult to tell what it's just done. Oh, it took out a turret. And, yeah, all of that is what it's taken. Oh, it took out some rubber, which means it may have taken out an AI or something important. Not bad. We are way too close, though. Let's back off a little bit. Oh, it's going back around for another hit, and it's kind of gone into the target anyway, so at least you can see how the fragments work, look. So it hit there, and that should be inside the target. Sadly, because it hit like it did, didn't really work out that way. The huge missiles being distractions is not really something I considered when I first built them, but my god are they useful. Come on, get through, at least one of you, just... ah. Yay, one of you got through. In fact, it may have even damaged one of the munition defenses. Those are all kinetic, they should get through. We might need more kinetic rounds, honestly. If we're seeing this level of munition defense in 75, and in 100, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. Or just more huge missiles, just more staggered. These things are just brutal, the enemy munition defense. What was that? Oh, I guess the enemy's mostly underwater, so it's a bit difficult to see where it is right now. Boom. Glorious missiles. Railguns are nothing to the beauty of missiles. Well, I don't really get a chance to spend any of that resource I just got, so we're instantly under attack from a lot of enemies, apparently. What's going on there? Oh. Lots of planes. And one bigger plane. Oh, that's cool. Proper aircraft carrier, the Whale Shark. Well, he's hoping that I just use regular missiles so I can try and counter them. Are our large missiles really going towards this thing? Oof. Well, it's going back to base now.
Engaging now.
Yeah, any of the kinetic, please go towards the correct target. Okay, yeah, we are sending out munition defense, so I assume they're using missiles. Ooh, they took out one of our huge missiles straight away. Please get through. Particle cannon shot against us, and hello! That was so badly damaged, I doubt it really sent out... Oh, no, it did! It did send out lots of heat damage, and it's completely broken the weapon that is fired against us. Fantastic. They got one shot out. Kinetic. Lovely. Down one of their steam engines. Meanwhile, we're being harassed by the swarm. Which aren't really doing all that much, honestly, considering we just have interceptors everywhere. Oh, looks like their munition defense isn't doing as well this time. And that one goes there. Lovely. Let's see what it's done. Oh, more of the engine being just removed. Lovely. Love to see it. You don't need any engines, do you? Nah. Please get your swarm away from me. So I definitely think changing those huge missiles was definitely the right call. Definitely. If we could just hit these back turrets, that'd be great. These are the munition defense ones. Yes, come on. Okay, one of them gone. Huge missile incoming. Ooh, that was right in the core. I wonder what knocked off all of this. So, laser systems. I love how our craft looks at a distance. It looks so ominous. Yeah, so that's this definitely done. Oh, is it recalling the craft now it's too badly damaged? It's fine by me. Keep them all there while I send out more explosives. We need more ammo, though. I didn't realize just how much ammo the huge missiles use. It's kind of ridiculous. Hello. Bink. Oh, that was lovely. Okay, so despite the fact it hit all of its heavy armor at the front, it looks like the heat element still went through. So I'm seeing some jets going down, some laser systems, and that's pretty much it, but it could send that thing into the water if it's hit enough of the jets. Yeah, it's tipping quite badly now. That was actually pretty brutal. Okay, you're no longer a threat. Once again, we changed target. Now back to the monsoon. I am falling in love with the huge missiles so quickly. After these two, we'll go through Red Portal, and honestly, I'm thinking just adding 2 more huge missiles to the center, and then fully armoring this all up. We have space here, so we're going to connect these wings rather than having them so floaty. And that'll be about it. Yep, down goes Scarlet Dawn. I don't think the Monsoon's been fighting back all that much. It's either damaged or out of range, so back off a little bit. We just want to be in range of our own kinetics. There we go. Oh, we just got in range of their huge missiles, and yep, hits all on the side. Thankfully, our interceptors did a really good work weakening them, so we didn't take too much damage. Same again, I'm hoping. Oh, that was some fragments. Oh my god, oh yeah, that has no armor on. There's actually nothing inside there. It always looks like it's so much worse than it actually is. I thought the Monsoon was taken out. I was apparently very, very wrong. Stop just hitting that chunk of heavy armor at the front. Just hit the sides. You've taken out a lot of those missiles. In fact, you know what? I think we have now disabled it. Good. All we've lost is our snoot. The snoot has drooped. Okay, so now we have 2 huge missiles on either side. We have the large missiles on top, the kinetic large facing forwards, and then the medium. We're actually getting very close to what I envision is the final product. Oh, and there's a red portal again. We're already in difficulty 85 right now. I'm just going to go straight to 90. Any extra resources, I think, are just going to be used for actual armor. Right now, we are still using alloy rather than regular metal, because that meant I could use less and less engine. Essentially, I'm very glass cannon-y. We have more armaments than our cost would normally allow, but the armor isn't great on this design. It's more munition defense and the fact we can go at half-decent speed. And then just lots and lots of firepower. Okay, so missiles coming against us. Oh, okay, we have the Great White. I thought that was something else. Are these huge or... Oh, these are huge missiles. Okay, that thing has more huge missiles than we do. Great to know. Don't really know what to do in terms of movement to try and dodge that thing. It has cram shells as well. I think it's cram cannons and huge missiles. So cram cannons we should be able to dodge. The rest, haven't got a clue. Okay, our kinetic missiles did land. That's great. Incoming cram. Slow down, duck down, turn to the right. Ooh, they're just about out of range of their missiles. Okay, in that case, let's try and get away. Oh, we're going to be hit. We're going to be hit. Oh, right in the large missiles. He's hoping that didn't completely take them out. Okay, we're gonna run away a bit. Oh, how did our huge missiles miss? And the rest of the kinetic hits, so clearly anti-detection's working just fine. Incoming cram, can't really zoom out right now, I'm too busy focused on controlling. Okay, cool. Took out one of their huge missiles, second one damaged. Okay, cool. That's fine, of all the places to hit, that's okay. That was, again, pretty okay. Nothing really vital back there. Done a lot of damage to the enemy. We've definitely hit it now with at least some of the large missiles. Some of the huge missiles, even. Is it sinking? Looks like it might be sinking. Not the best to watch there, but I had to just focus on actually controlling the craft. Look at that! Oh, it's dead! Is it dead? Oh, I thought it was deloading. No, just crushed in the center there. That looks like a huge missile hit. Yeah, because it's damaged the insides. Yeah, no idea what happened to that first wave of huge missiles and why they just missed so badly. I might actually consider investing in even more munition defense at this point. Being able to stop huge missiles would be great. It looks like none of ours got taken out. Fantastic. That was a lovely fight, even if it wasn't too fun to watch, I'm sure. Should still be locking on. Enough of it's out of the water, I think. We literally can't see underwater, so... yeah, I think that's fine. Oh. A complete victory. Pink. Let's go for that red portal. We've almost done 1 million damage with our interceptors. Oh, it's going to get one last hit. No, it isn't. Okay, that's now going to be slowed down because the damage is taken. One more hit. Fine. I obviously meant 2. Okay, difficulty 95 now. We're getting very close to the end of this run, and we have the Sovereign. Thankfully, I have added some smoke defense before this fight, because I finally got around to it once I had some time. Okay, distractions. Hopefully they don't cause too many problems. I wonder if these lasers are going to also act as munition defense. Yep, yes they are. Is that all it's firing? It's not firing its main gun at the moment, so I'm thinking we should just stay at range, in fact even back off a little. And medium missiles probably won't even reach the target, but if it's not able to use its main cannon, well, I'm very, very happy. Wow, just obliterated the explosive missiles, which is to be expected, to be completely honest. Here's hoping these land. Okay, 1 did. Okay, they're just out of fuel. That explains their movement. Okay, 2 have directly hit. Here's hoping the heat did something. It's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, what kind of parts are we looking at? Mostly just armor. That thing is really well armored. Still would have expected a bit more than that from them, but that's fine. Okay, high explosive again. Seems like I can't really use its laser for defense, and it's no longer shooting them down so quickly, so I think we've drained its battery. Or perhaps even damaged its battery with one of the heat missiles. It's very hard to tell. Yeah, our mediums aren't in range, but right now it's best just to stay at this range. Again, if it can't use that turret, it's not really going to be able to win. Beautiful. I double-checked as well. We definitely have enough general processors. I think it's just they're not agile enough, and that's why they're having such a tough time hitting the target. That's it. Keep on focusing on the huge missiles. They're very hard to take down. No, fire at this instead. I'm just my detection systems. I really do need to go into sandbox mode and quickly troubleshoot some things, but I think this is a pretty much guaranteed win at this point. Turn a craft, face the enemy. I don't think I've taken any damage, really. The lasers hit us early on, but again, we do now have smoke defense, so how much that actually did? Probably very little. Okay, 2 of the huge missiles landed, and that was the laser system just got... Oh, wow. Yep, that was the huge again. Steam engine or just regular jet. Yep, jet's gone, along with more of the engine. And more of the lasers. Yeah, that weapon's offline now anyway. Okay, cool, we can get closer. We were hit by something, but I think it was just the laser systems. No, I mean, I still have most of the resource from the Great White fight, so clearly I haven't been repairing. As the sun rises, the Sovereign is defeated. I'm going to go to difficulty 100 now with just what we have. So right now, the craft we're in is 1 million resources, almost on the dot. And a lot of the enemies we've been seeing are more expensive than that, although saying that, if that's the kobold, that one's a bit cheaper if incredibly nasty. I'm going to ignore you and go straight for the portal, as was originally planned. Thank you very much. Oh, another enemy as well. Yep, definitely a good call then. I think that's the Redeemer. It's one of the white flyers regardless. Yeah, it'll be fine, I think. This is why I wanted all that spare resource. I was going to add more stuff, but I was thinking, you know what, we might need repairs. Why are they not fighting each other at all? Why are they both going against me? I might have stood a chance against one of them. I definitely wouldn't stand a chance against both. Thank you very much. Oh, we landed a bit rough there. There we go. Okay. As I repair up, turns out I was wrong. It was actually 1.2 mil, so a little bit more expensive than I realised. It's those huge missiles, they're just always so expensive. Well, we're against the event horizon. I am certain we're not going to be winning this one. At least a lot of those first ones missed. We need to hit it very, very soon. Very, very fast. So, if we get lucky, and I mean really lucky, one of our heat missiles may knock off the turret. So, the event horizon is horrendously difficult, but it's basically a bit of a meme craft. If you can hit its turret in any proper space, the entire thing detonates and its AI gets destroyed. That being said, it's over 2 million, and it's very well armoured. And its firepower is also obviously ridiculous. Okay, some of the kinetics are landing. Incoming the high explosives. Well, didn't take out the turret cap, but still. Okay, a few hits there from our huge missiles, and the lag indicates I may have actually won this. Let's just pause and go over. Is the turret destroyed? The whole thing's destroyed. The huge missiles have proved themselves. How much damage did we take, though? 10% health already. That was only a couple of rounds from its gun. Okay. We've technically won difficulty 10. 100. Frazzled. For the last fight, I've decided to go here into the sandbox mode, because there is one design which I was scared of more than pretty much everything else, and thankfully we didn't see it. And that, if I can actually find it, is the Singularity. Now, the Singularity is significantly more expensive than us, but on top of that, it hard counters us. Because what the Singularity can do is teleport away from missiles. On top of that, it has very good munition defense and loads of armor from the front. It is a serious problem. So let's see how this actually goes. I think I want to stay facing it since I have more heavy armor on the front than anywhere else. It's going to be a matter of will the huge missiles actually land. The kinetic ones may hit once we get closer. They probably won't do much. Again, the front is almost pure heavy armor. So, yep, that's loads of block confetti, but it's all armor. It's just more and more armor. That's all it did there. So that was practically nothing. Okay, it's using its laser mostly as point defense, which is good for us. Less hits against us, and with how much health some of our missiles have, it probably won't stop them. And... oh no, the huge missile was completely destroyed. Yep, way too much munition defense. So if this thing arrived on difficulty 100, we would have just died. Simple as that. I think there's a couple more designs as well, which I think would just have countered us. We actually got quite lucky this entire run, to be completely honest. The only submarine I saw, we ran from. And I can't remember many complete counter-missile enemies. Like, things like even the Kobold, which is a much smaller target from, I think, the Grey Talons, would have been a serious problem, but they just didn't really appear. At least, we didn't have to fight them. Yeah, we're dead. We didn't do anything to the enemy. Simple as that. I'd like if at least one of those could hit. That would make me happy. Don't think it's going to happen though. Look at all of those intercepts, plus the powerful laser system, plus how it's moving, plus the fact it can teleport if it gets overwhelmed. The Singularity is a fantastic design, and yeah. Oh, I think I've lost my computer. Those are no longer targeting the enemy properly. Can I manually force them to change target now? Yeah, I can. Not really going to happen though, so yeah. With that, and showcasing how lucky we got near the end, but I'm still really happy with this design, it's time to call the video. I am severely sleep deprived this week. My ability to talk or even think is now completely compromised. So with that, if you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. A submarine-only run, a kinetic-only run, and so many different options are available potentially in the future, so if you'd like to see any of those, please tell me in the comments below. That went about as badly as it could have, to be completely honest. But at least today, we won.